Does a higher minimum wage help workers or hurt businesses? Our purpose today is to persuade you to support raising the minimum wage. I am interested in this topic, so I've researched it to help you to provide you with current and accurate information. Whether you are a lawmaker or a concerned citizen, the common factor that unites us in investing in our America's future, our choices about the minimum wage today can have a far-reaching effect on your country. After hearing what I've said, I'm confident you will agree with my solution and America's best option. I will begin with the problem, then cover its causes, and by the end, offer my solutions. With our roadmap in place, let's begin with the problem. The problem is some people oppose raising the minimum wage. The first reason comes from believing it may lead to inflation. For example, in its April 2022 article, a survey on U.S. economists on a $15 minimum wage published by Carnegie Mellon University, a strong majority, 62%, oppose raising the minimum wage. The second reason comes from believing it may lead to increased unemployment. Another example from the April 26, 2024 article, voters think it's time to raise the minimum wage, published by Data Progress, a progressive think tank and polling firm cited by the White House and Congress. Between 4 and 51% of respondents oppose raising minimum wage, depending on the figure used. Together, these examples show a significant opposition to raising the minimum wage. With that problem in mind, let's look at its causes. There are two primary reasons people oppose raising the minimum wage. The first reason comes from believing it will lead to higher employment. According to October 12, 2023 study, increasing the minimum wage has positive effects on employment by Penn Today, a daily online publication from the University of Pennsylvania offering news, events, and updates including faculty, staff, and student profiles, research updates, and campus happenings, managed by the university communications team that in less competitive job markets where employers have more wage effects. In other words, employment will rise following a minimum wage increase. Studies show that raising the minimum wage lowers employment. According to a June 2022 survey, a survey of U.S. economists on a 15% federal minimum wage done by the Employment Policies Institute, a conservative think tank that studies employment issues in the United States, found that 60% of economists strongly believe a $15 minimum wage would increase unemployment. In other words, some people oppose raising the minimum wage, believing it may lead to unemployment. The second reason comes from believing it would lead to inflation. According to a March 1st, 2021 survey, what economists think about $15 minimum wage, published by the University of Chicago Booth School of Business, a top-ranked graduate business school known for its innovation and research, found that 5% of economists strongly believe a $15 minimum wage per hour would significantly contribute to inflation. In other words, some people oppose raising the minimum wage, believing it may cause inflation. However, studies show it has a trivial effect on inflation. With reasons why people oppose raising the minimum wage, let's move on to my solution and its benefits. My solution to support raising the minimum wage offers two primary benefits. The first benefit is greater employment stability. According to a January 2019 study, the effect of minimum wage on low-wage jobs by the National Bureau of Economic Research, a private, non-profit, non-partisan research organization dedicated to promoting a greater understanding of how the economy works by undertaking and disseminating unbiased economic research, found that raising the minimum wage does not lead to significant job loss. Instead, it results in a reduction of job turnover. In other words, it means greater employment stability for low-wage workers. The second benefit is lifting millions out of poverty. According to a February 10, 2021 report, raising the federal minimum wage, published by Economic Policy Institute, a non-profit think tank that focuses their needs on low and middle class workers, estimates that raising the federal minimum wage to $15 by 2025 will lift the pay of 32 million low-wage workers. In other words, the Institute is saying a raise in the minimum wage will lift millions out of poverty. In conclusion, supporting raising the minimum wage is America's best option. Let's review what we've learned today. First, we learned that the problem is some people oppose raising the minimum wage, including some believe it would lead to unemployment and inflation. 62% of people oppose raising the minimum wage, believing it would lead to unemployment. Between 4 and 51% of respondents oppose raising the minimum wage, depending on the figure used, believing it may lead to inflation. Next, we learned there are two primary reasons people oppose raising the minimum wage, including it will lead to unemployment and higher prices. In other words, some people oppose raising the minimum wage, believing it will lead to unemployment, and in other words, some people oppose raising the minimum wage, believing it may cause inflation. Finally, we learned my solution to support raising the minimum wage offers two benefits, including greater employment stability and lifting millions out of poverty. The first benefit is greater employment stability, and the second benefit is lifting millions out of poverty. Now that you understand the reality of raising the minimum wage, I urge you to support and use your voice to demand change. Thank you.